So instead of our overlooked DVD of the week this week, we're just going to review one film because we can't go without reviewing one film. So why don't you kick it off?
All right, this movie came out last year, I believe, directed and written by a man named David Coop. I think he actually wrote War of the Worlds, which is kind of weird because that
we
was
can ignore that part of his resume.
Yeah, because that was a film that we panned last week. But he did this movie called Ghost Town. Now, it didn't do very well in theaters, but it's an absolutely great film. It stars Ricky Gervais, and he plays a very misanthropic dentist who lives in Manhattan. And one day, he almost dies, or he does die during a colonoscopy, and when he wakes up, he can see ghosts. Now, I mean, one of the greatest parts of this movie is obviously Ricky Gervais. He's unbelievably funny, all his little witty quips. But, I mean, most of all, what you don't expect is the chemistry that he has with the main female character, Téa Leoni, and just how his transformation as a character progresses along a path that is completely unconventional.
I agree with everything you just said. I absolutely love the film. I have 4 very specific compliments for the film. One is Ricky Gervais. He's inherently funny. Everything he does, I find amusing. He says lines in this movie which are not meant to be funny but end up being hilarious just in his delivery. He has it. He has that thing that movie stars have, and he needs to be top billed in, I think, about 3 comedies a year because he's too funny not to be. 2 is that the screenplay is smart. And so often Hollywood would say, we have this premise, we have these actors, and it's a ghost movie and it's a romantic comedy, just go with it, pump out a movie. This gives people funny things to say and smart things to say. And a sign that the movie is smart is the Greg Kinnear character who dies, Téa Leoni's husband, is not a good guy. And the boyfriend who he needs to break her up from is not a bad guy. It's complete not cliche in any way. Thirdly, I want to compliment them for casting Téa Leoni, who I don't think is particularly a great actress, but it would have been easy in Hollywood to scale younger, to say, let's get a 30-year-old actress instead of a 40-year-old actress. She works very well in this movie. She's a beautiful woman, but everything seems to work right because of her age equivalence with Ricky Gervais, and they could have kept out on that. And then fourth, and very quickly, just a compliment, Kristen Wiig in this movie is phenomenal, and she is quickly establishing herself as, I think, the funniest supporting comic actress in the last 10 years, and I think she should get off SNL and just go do movies because she has star power too, and she should be in movies. I don't know if she could ever be a top bill, but she has this way of being in this film and Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, and she was in Knocked Up a few years ago. She just has the right note every time. She says lines of dialogue just like a needle. She shoots it in there, it's hilarious, and then she's gone just as quickly. She's that good. Everything about this movie is fantastic.
Absolutely.
It should have done a lot better than it did. It's because people are lazy and they don't want to see good movies. That's why.
Her scene in the movie too is it should be maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It's like a full 10-minute scene.
And she steals every minute of it.
She does.
She upstages Ricky Gervais, which is not easy to do.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I want to compare Téa Leoni and Ricky Gervais' relationship to Catherine Keener and Steve Carell's relationship in 40-Year-Old Virgin. Because when they're together, you can see that they enjoy being together in the movie. They laugh at each other, and it doesn't seem artificial. A lot of times in movies, when people
they have
laugh,
chemistry. It's as simple as that.
They have so much chemistry.
You've hit on another movie which is exactly similar. That would happen to be a box office smash. These are movies for adults. They are, in some 40-year-old version is filthy in some parts, but they're funny, and then there's something else. Mm-hmm. They have a real sweetness to them, and they really get to the heart of romance. It's what music and lyrics doesn't have, which is a heart.
Exactly.
I recommend Ghost Town, absolutely.
And the obstacle, the romantic obstacle, completely makes sense.
Absolutely. Well, you're dealing with dead people. Oh, one more compliment. I mentioned this to you in the week. Another example of how smart the screenplay is. They do things they don't need to do. They could have been satisfied with what they have. There's a moment where Ricky Gervais finally decides to help a couple people, and one woman he ends up helping, the moment they have, because of what they've built up to that point, is absolutely beautiful. And they didn't have to go to the extra effort of doing that and wasting about 10 minutes of screen time. They could have said, that's not worth it. It pays off, and it pays off absolutely well. And it shows how that movie has a heart, unlike most romantic comedies, which just go with emotions.
Completely.